And we're at part 2. So, if you remember last time we talked about the coincidental production and history of the film, along with some of the voice actors. So we're gonna actually talk about the plot of the movie, and it goes as such, but a little differently. Okay, as usual, we're gonna start with the actual ship crash, and then the journey to the ship after it's crashed is gonna be a little bit different. You see, he actually fights, I think it's a narwhal or a... So he goes onto the ship and meets, the other animals. Lip, Lap, and Paul. Oh, and Dozy as well.
Supposed to be a watchdog, and you don't even watch. Open your eyes, Dozy, and look at the world.
All of which have their own separate personalities, which I have established in the beginning. Well, in part 1 to be exact. But it doesn't matter because we're gonna go over those personalities very quickly anyways. I already talked about Robinson's leadership, Lip and Lap's relationship, and Dozy's ness. But the only ones I haven't gotten to talk about were, Paul and Friday. How are they different from the original book and Rankin Bass version? Well, let's start with Paul's personality. Whereas Paul was an annoying one-dimensional pirate parrot in the original Rankin Bass version, he actually has a character in this Animafilm's version. He's like a lovable jackass. And I loved that so much about him. Whereas Paul was deathly afraid of cannibals, including Friday in the original Rankin Bass version.
Don't trust him. A cannibal he was, and a cannibal he is.
This version of Paul, while he is initially afraid of Friday at first...
Now pay attention. I'm telling you, all my hearties, we're in deadly danger. That lad may roast us for Sunday dinner.
He spends enough time with Friday to actually joke about it.
Oh, you don't eat the spoon, you eat with it. Now, take it easy and try again. Yeah.
He only knows how to eat people. Take it from me.
I think we all know Friday by now. Same story, he's saved by the cannibals, except they actually put some emphasis on the fact that he is a...
Now listen now, biting me is not allowed. I know you're a little cannibal, but I'm not on the menu for your dinner. Poor little fella, though, he doesn't mean any harm, really, does he, lads?
Oh, and he has the mentality of a little child. He is regressed to a child in this movie. Most people would scoff at the fact that he digressed, but this is an alternate version, so who cares?
They thought you'd eat them in a sandwich. Come on, I know it's not your fault, but I know you're...
Also, I love the comedy while they're building the fortress. Remember, at this point, Friday doesn't even have his name yet.
Bye-bye. Come here, lazy bones.
We can't go and call him Hey You forever. We need a final name for him.
What about Baby the Belcher?
Paul, don't be rude. Think of a good name.
And I love how Robinson actually decides to call him Julius Caesar, or Attila the Hun, or Christopher Columbus before finally settling on Friday.
Yeah, Friday. Good lad, Robinson.
After learning that he should have probably loaded his gun before learning to shoot it,
Don't you be cheeky, eh? There's no need to giggle. This is a fine gun and I'm a good shot. All right?
he goes to the ship with the other animals. On that ship, while they're grabbing ammunition, the cannibals are trying to capture Friday, and it turns out Paul is missing, so you would think that the cannibals got him, but instead...
Who's shooting at my friend the parrot? Come out with your hands up. I've got you covered.
What's the use of anything now? My captain's gone. My fine captain. He was a gallant man, my hearties. We'll never see the likes of him again.
Yeah, this movie can get it's, you know, emotional moments once in a while, and I applaud it for that. And there's also some filler scene where there's a rainstorm, Paul gets a cold, and he doesn't want to take the medicine and swaps it for his beer, so then he gets everyone drunk, and then Robertson comes home and everything's fine. No transition of him helping the others get better or anything, just he's everything's fine. You know how the rest of the movie goes at this point, right? They fight off the cannibals, they go on a discarded ship and free some others, and then they sail off on the ship to end the movie. And yet, there weren't really that many transitions between certain scenes. Okay, now this is the English dubbed version of the film, meaning that it obviously cut out a lot of the scenes from the original version. Maybe I could do an extra video summing up those deleted scenes and whether or not they were appropriate to put in a movie. But until then, peace.